and welcome to the first episode of Tales from the Vinyls. I know it's a really cheesy and crappy name, but I just couldn't come up with anything better, so let's just roll with it. It's not about the title of the show, it's what the show is gonna be about. It's gonna be about albums that had a special relationship or relation to Sterbhaus. It's not necessarily gonna be like the best albums ever, always. It's going to be backstories about the albums and stuff like that. It's not going to be my favorite albums all the time. Maybe sometimes it will be, but we'll see where we end up. But it's more about, we're going to be talking a little bit about albums that influenced us at certain periods in time. And backstories and stuff like that. And if it will be awesome if you actually dropped a line or two. If you kind of hear what I'm talking about, let's say I'm presenting an album that inspired us greatly during a certain period, drop a line if you can agree with that, and listen to the albums I'm presenting. That will be super cool because it's not going to be Sterbhaus albums, so you can hate the albums if you want to. I'm not going to get really mad about it because you're not criticizing Sterbhaus really at that point. You're just criticizing other stuff. If you criticize this album, you're probably brain dead, because this first album is I'm going to be presenting is, of course, a total classic. And I expect everyone to have heard it. Now, this is Iron Maiden's Somewhere in Time. And the reason I'm bringing this one up is, of course, not because we listened to this and thought we'd play something similar, because Sterbhaus certainly doesn't sound like anything this album sounds like. But it's going to be a backstory. It's going to be a tale about a tradition we had as a band that we stuck to for years and years. From the moment we bought our GMC van, which was a horrible investment, totally ruined us and ruined your peace of mind completely. There was always some issue with that damn van. But it took us from where we live in Stockholm out to mostly Germany. Festivals like Rockharts and Way of Darkness and all that. And is in Sweden, of course, to Motala Bomber Bar and stuff like that. But what we did, and from the first trip we made with that van, till the end, regardless of who was in the band, we had a tradition of when the last person was on board the van, what we did was play this album from beginning to end. And that became something I think quite fondly of, actually, in retrospect. Now that we're not out playing, these are the kind of things I tend to remember. And I mean, if you have a band and you don't have traditions like this, I mean, it can be putting a certain album on before you go on stage, when you go off stage and unwind, if you toast in champagne or whatever, stupid traditions like that are actually pretty worthwhile. And I truly recommend having stuff like that. Completely unsolicited recommendation there. I kind of hate recommending, giving other musicians tips. Nobody cares about that. But we had this tradition, and we all loved it. I think this is definitely the best Maiden album, in my opinion. And so drop us a line or two if you agree, if you think there was another Maiden album that was better. Which songs are your favorite ones in this one? And I mean, I can talk a little bit about this copy, of course, because I bought it in 1988, something like that. And it's been obviously with me for quite a long time, and it's been played quite a few times. Unfortunately, I mean, I was a bit careless apparently, because all my older albums, they're a little bit worn and so on. And even though they truly were my precious, the only items I've held dear and taken care of, obviously not taken care of well enough, because it's kind of a crappy copy, which sucks. But I mean, I grew up with it. So there you are, Iron Maiden, Somewhere in Time.
With the stage of the Dark Lord rising, where the toads of doubt would welcome one and all to